Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us on another edition of Hudson County Review Live. I'm your host, the guy whose voice oozes like Sean Combs and has the ability to choke guys like John Jones, John Arhitis. Today we're joined with Guttenberg Mayor Wayne Zitt. Wayne, great to have you.
Thank you. Thanks. I'm happy. Took us long enough to get it done, but wait.
Yeah, better late than never. Yes, so. That's okay. I mean, there's no shortage of topics in Guttenberg, contrary to popular belief. So, the Klein Elementary School Annex, obviously that's a big project for you guys, $22 million. Unfortunately, it's a little behind, and you run into some issues recently. Can you tell us what's going on?
We did get use out of it for the school year. 12 classrooms were utilized. Just going through some cosmetic problems on the inside, ceiling and HVAC systems and stuff like that the contract is still obligated to fix, but we're hoping to have everything done before school opens in September.
All right. So, what do you think? So, you think this could be done before the school year?
Hope, yes. We'll see. I mean, if not, the HVAC and the heating systems, that should be the immediate. And then if we have to do some patchwork with the inner ceiling in the gym, that'll get done throughout, probably overnights and stuff like that, so it doesn't impact the school.
Got it. Now, there was a concern at one point, probably over a year ago now, that when the North Bergen High School and the High Tech High School took their new locations, that the students in Guttenberg may end up going to North Bergen. But that's no longer on the table, last I heard.
That was just, I guess, Mayor Sacco, gave us the opportunity if we wanted to, because our kids go to the high school there, if we wanted to entertain that thought. But with this investment we made here, there's really no reason for it. Our classroom sizes are where they need to be, and we're going to utilize what we have here.
And how many students approximately are in the Guttenberg school district?
1,000.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And that's been pretty consistent since you've been on the council
yes.
and been mayor?
Yep.
Okay.
Give or take a couple here and there, but...
All right, very good. And on another topic, I know something that you guys are looking to do is parking. Obviously you guys are not a large municipality, just 8 blocks or so, but, extremely densely populated, one of the most dense, if I believe the record just said a couple weeks ago.
In the United States, yeah.
Yeah, so obviously parking is a premium in North Hudson and throughout Hudson County, as we know, and Guttenberg's no exception, of course, based on what we just said. So what are you up to on that front to try to make those concerns alleviated a bit for residents?
Well, actually, right behind the school, since with the addition of the 12 classrooms, we had 4 trailers back there that were like pre-K to kindergarten classrooms. We're going to be removing those out, and we got some designs from our engineer to, with open space money, do the park over, the toddler park, pre-K park, along with a basketball court outdoor, and then generating 23 to 25 parking spots behind the school for the teachers during the day, and then residents have the ability to rent them at night.
Okay, and do you know what the rental fee will be yet?
Right now I think it's $100 one of our other lots that we have on 71st Street, so it'll be probably the same.
Okay, well that's, 23 to 25 spots, that's not bad.
It's better than nothing, right?
That's certainly better than nothing. And the meter parking, no changes coming up with that?
No, we were looking into going to some more smart meters, but most of them are solar panel, and due to the locations on Bergen Line and Park Avenue, it's right now hit or miss with the sun, so we're looking into other options there. We currently have those on Boulevard East, but the rates we changed back when we came into office from the quarter for 15 minutes back to a quarter for a half hour. Overnight parking we reduced from the $10 to $5, and we might see an increase this year with the residential parking permit because we're changing softwares and looking to go with an LPR system, which is a license plate recognition system. So some changes coming down, enhancing the technology side of it, could be more efficient.
You think that'll come before the end of the year?
Yeah, definitely. We're looking somewhere to implement it around October, we're thinking. That's when the renewal process is.
Okay, very good. And speaking of other renovations and improvements around town, I know that, where we sit today, the town hall is about a century old. So my understanding is you guys are starting to look into potentially doing some sort of renovation or improvement.
Yeah, we're weighing our options right now. We're looking at the surrounding area, seeing if there's any properties we could acquire to possibly sell off some other spaces that we have in town to build a new town hall. Our police department, town hall, our court is over 100 years old. The spot that we're sitting in now is a later addition, I believe in the 90s, but it's dated and it's antiquated, and to keep sinking money into here, we're thinking it might be a better option to go off and explore to see if it makes sense for us to go purchase some property and build one.
Have any studies been initiated on this part?
Currently, it's going on right now as we speak. We have our financial group, NW Financial, looking at some stuff, our appraisal company, McNerney, and we also have our in-house tax assessor looking at stuff.
All right, and when do you think you'll get a report or a conclusion from that?
I would hope within the next 90 days.
Okay, so relatively soon.
Yep.
All right, very good. And talking about parking and what's going on around Park Ave, of course, there's the Veterans Park over there. I understand there's some
Veterans
changes
is the one
coming there.
That's located behind the school. That's what we're doing, a parking spots in a new park and a basketball court. We're looking at Monument Park. That's on Boulevard East. We're going to be doing a whole new facelift there. New plantings, seasonal and annual plantings, new lighting, new equipment benches, garbage cans, do a nice facelift and maybe some possible signage saying welcome to Guttenberg. We have an empty lot that's on 70th Street right now. We're looking to purchase that through a planning incentive grant with the help of the county. That right now it's just a vacant lot. We would turn around and retrofit that into a park. So we're trying to get some grass in this concrete jungle, so little by little.
All right, okay. Interesting theory. So there was a possible notion that had been made in the legislature not too long ago, less than a month ago, that, and I believe it was the Senate president that introduced that, but I'm not sure. The point is, it was talking about a lot of the smaller municipalities in New Jersey getting absorbed into the local town. So, I don't think Guttenberg was explicitly stated, but in that scenario, you would assume it would get swallowed up by either West New York or North Bergen.
Well, let's not assume. We've been here first. We were established first, but I looked at the 191 cities, towns, boroughs. We were not included in there because that was based on, I believe, under 7,500 people in a population.
Okay.
For us, obviously, if we were to be consolidated, I would fight it tooth and nail because, again, this is a community of almost 12,000 people. You'd have to look at, it's not very easy to say split 2 blocks this way and 2 blocks this way. There's a lot of tax ramifications. We got a school here. We got a police department. There's people with jobs. There's a lot more that just comes with it for somebody to print the bill up and say it's an easy fix just looking at lines that are on a map.
Fair enough. All right, well, not a concern at the moment, so that's good news for the people of Guttenberg. Speaking of good news at Guttenberg, I know you guys are doing your annual concert series, so tell us just a little bit about that and what people can look forward to if they want something light to do during the week.
Well, actually, this year we changed it up because we usually have all the locations on Boulevard East. Our first one was right here in front of Town Hall on Tuesday night. The happenings was a great turnout. We had over 250 people. Our next one is on the 28th of July. That's down on Waterfront Park. It's a Billy Joel tribute band. We're going to try to get some food trucks down there. We're working in conjunction with North Bergen because we split that park. There are 2 other dates I don't have in front of me in August, but those are both on Boulevard East. One is a Latin band in front of Rumba Cubana, and then we do one up closer towards the Senior, towards 71st Street, and that's the Infernos. We also have this year, last year was the first year we did National Night Out. We're going to expand on that. We're going to do 2 locations, one on the west side of town, one on the east. We're going to have bouncy houses, free food, have our police department, intermingle with the community. Let's extend the hand. Let's get it going better here, better communication, hear what people's concerns are, and let the kids have a good time. One thing we are cutting back on this year, we did Safe Kids Day. We took that down, and that's why we expanded the National Night Out, so it pertains to more of our residents. We found in the past that Safe Kids Day was a success, but we were the only one doing it, so we had a lot of different municipalities coming and kids from other different areas, so we were trying to expand on the National Night Out like every other town does at this point.
Okay, so you're going to do your own this time?
Yes, we did the first one last year. It was very successful. It was on the other side of town, west side, but we're doing one here in front of Town Hall this year also.
Okay, well, that sounds like something that'll be worthwhile for residents. And on the topic of public safety, one thing that sometimes people might forget is that Guttenberg is, of course, part of the North Hudson Regional and Rescue. So obviously that's the firefighting services. What's been going on that front? How has that been working out on your end?
That's been good. North Hudson's great. Response time, everything that they do is on the up and up. We never have any issues here. I mean, we're surrounded by 4 or 5 different firehouses. One change we did make was on our ambulance side. Our ambulance services, we were with, I believe, Weehawken Township, the volunteer service for, I believe, close to 20 years. We looked at some of the options just to see what was around. It was costing the municipality, I believe, about $48,000 a year, somewhere around there, based on how many calls came in, and it'll fluctuate back and forth. But through an interlocal with the North Bergen Ambulance Department, we got an agreement that's similar to what they offer to their residents. If they have insurance, the insurance pays whatever the billed amount is or the allowed amount. If residents don't have it, the town does not pay, nor does the resident. So it was a home run for us in a sense where we're saving money, and we're going to have the comparable service that Weehawken had also. They didn't have the ability to do that because they're volunteer, and that's one thing that really was the dividing part on that side.
All right, and this is something that, why did you decide to pursue this? Obviously, you save money, but it's never happened before, right?
Savings, no, because nobody actually, I guess, entertained it at that point. It was just something that was a norm, and then we looked into it to cut some monies here and there and reallocate funds if we could, obviously, and it was just something that popped up. We looked into West New York also. They responded with some numbers also, but, it was... looked like a good fit for us. Either one, if it was West New York, North Bergen, it's logistically closer, but the savings on its side was there. It wasn't anything to do with service. Weehawken was great. They've been great, and they'll continue to move forward great.
All right. Excellent. So, tell me something. Obviously, people that have known you for a long time know that you grew up in North Bergen, and obviously you were a pretty successful football player. And at some point, you moved to Guttenberg, and you entered the political arena here. So how did that all come about? I mean, it seemed relatively
About 9 years ago, I moved over to town and wanted to get involved with the Democratic Committee. I met Councilwoman Florio, her husband Nick. I became a committee person in the 4th District, and little by little just kept getting more and more involved. And then I had the opportunity to work for the Assemblywoman, which at that point gave me more opportunity to learn about the political side of things, also on the legislative side, and meeting the other leaders throughout the county and throughout the state. So it was just pretty much, I guess, a good transition. It was a great learning curve. I loved it. I love being down Trenton, but this now coming into your own little nook of the woods here, my little town of Guttenberg, it's great. What I've learned there I can implement here, and gives you different ways to look at things. Certain towns do things certain ways, certain can't, but it gives me the ability to sit there and understand how things work and what might benefit us if we do some change.
And your term's obviously relatively new as mayor, so, still many years ahead of you, even the worst case scenario. So tell us some plans that you have ahead for the long term.
Well, I'm 7 months in now. I think right now we have a great bunch. The town hall of people we have work here really care. Our police department, we just grew. We hired 2 more people on, and we have an even base of 5 guys per squad. Looking forward here is to do quality of life. We made a commitment. We've been working with the local businesses, the bars and restaurants, controlling the crowds, making sure there's no noise, making sure there's, control outside of the bars, not only inside, educating them what to do, what they can do, what they can ask for help. We're looking at some of these empty lots that we have, is possibly purchasing them with open space money and grant money to make parking lots and more parks in town. We have on the scope for 2 years, we have our one firehouse, which is a rescue vessel in there. It's not a fire engine. That's located on Madison Street. We're looking to take that down because it's deteriorating, and making it a spray park, a fireman's spray park on the west side of town. So we, myself and the council, looking to move forward. Redevelopment-wise, we got about 12 projects coming in, which could be between 400 and 600 new apartments modernized, more tax revenue. Parking spaces have to be dedicated to the unit. So if there's 30 apartments, each unit has to have 1 parking spot. That first car does not get an overnight pass to park on the street. So we were very conscious of making sure we weren't going to hinder the other residents with this redevelopment. Developers and contractors seem to be making it work. We have a lot coming down the pipe, and we're excited.
All right, yeah, you said a mouthful, so you thought about this a little bit, so that's good to know. Mm-hmm. All right, so on another note, just what are some other community initiatives? I know you guys are participating in the Braddock Park Farmers Market now.
We bus our seniors up. We have a bus on the weekends. It's part of the weekly trips. We take our seniors every day. There's a shopping trip to a mall or what store or a farmer's market. I know we do it down to the county one also. Depending on what's available, we try to make every opportunity to give to the residents.
Okay. Speaking of the county, obviously, we're about a month removed now from the recent vote of the new chair for the Hudson County Democratic Organization. You supported Amy DeGees, and you're supporting her dad for re-election. Why did you think those were the right moves for the county from a Guttenberg perspective?
For Guttenberg perspective, once I came on as mayor, Mr. DeGees brought me down. We sat at the table, myself and our town administrator, Cosmo Cirillo, met every person who was in charge of what department down the county. One thing that the county executive did do was for our bond for the school, he let us, being we're a small municipality with our credit rating, he let the HCIA go out and get some numbers back to sit there if they would guarantee our note, and it broke down. We're going to probably have a savings over the projects of about $300,000 due to the county doing that. So for me, for the first couple of months I've been on and seeing what has gone on here with open space money and stuff like that we've been reinvesting with the waterfront park that he's done down there through Mayor Drescher, he's always been a good friend here. And for me as a leader, Tom is a great guy. I mean, he picks up the phone every time you call, so I never had any bad experience. So, I mean, for me, he's a true friend. Anything you need, you could call. He's been there for us. So I felt that, from us, he was the candidate. He's been there for us. We need to be there for him. Nothing against anybody else who was running or planning to run for county executive, but for us, that's where our feathers in his hat.
Gotcha. As you know, there was a story that's been really developing for about 24 hours now at the county. They're taking on a new contract with ICE about the number of beds that inmates would have that, again, it's another contract with U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, and some people are up in arms because there was the whole 287G thing, and now they're coming back with another contract, which has been there, but it just, people weren't paying attention to that. They're paying attention to 287G. I don't know if you've been following this.
I didn't even, this is the first I'm hearing, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'll look into it.
All right, fair enough then. I know some mayors have come out against it, but, it's been developing, like I said, the last 24 hours. It'll be something to keep an eye on. So other than that, Mr. Mayor, anything else you wanted to add today?
No, just I thank you for having me. You've been a team player with us also, John. You're a great friend. I think we finally got this done today, and everybody come down, give Guttenberg a chance, see the concerts, try the restaurants. It has a lot to offer.
Very good. Mr. Mayor, always a pleasure.
Thank you, Johnny.
Thank you all for joining in again. Have a fantastic weekend.
Thank you.